Nate Robinson is a 3-time NBA dunking champ, played for a whole bunch of teams, was a really good player. Also played college football and college basketball. That's what a great athlete he was. Nate Robinson talked himself into a fight against Jake Paul, who's been this is Jake Paul's second professional fight.
Yeah.
He's been fighting for over a year now. I've been training, he says, all the time, and it looks like he has been. And man, he got wrecked in 2 rounds, got knocked out. I talked to Nate Robinson twice before he fought, and I kind of talked to him about what boxing is and what boxing isn't. But Nate Robinson put in that work, right? Mm-hmm. I thought that Nate might be able to handle the pressure because he was an NBA player.
You thought his athleticism might carry the day.
That wasn't what I was worried about.
Okay.
I was worried about once you get in the ring and the bell rings and it's just you and another guy, sometimes the natural thing is to freak out about that. Okay?
Yeah.
In any fight, really.
So you thought you'd be able to handle the pressure?
Yeah, and don't fight. I just literally talked to him about the best fighters do not fight with great emotion. Look at Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Even though he turns it on, he doesn't fight with emotion. Floyd Mayweather doesn't have a lot of emotion when he fights. That's not the thing that wins fights, and that's a hard thing to teach until you've experienced it. And so he wouldn't have really been able to experience that until he's there. That being said, man, on Sunday, the Nate Diaz challenge thing, everybody's trolling this guy for getting knocked out. This guy has done way more than, I guarantee you, anybody who's doing that, probably, he's accomplished more in his life than the vast majority of people that are, talking noise on the internet.
Well,
Some people talk about doing things. Other people actually do it. Nate Robinson did it. He lost the fight. He got knocked out. So what? He was willing to put himself out there and really try that. He really did train his butt off for weeks and weeks. And I hate to see this pile-on mentality as if he shouldn't. Maybe the fight shouldn't have happened. Maybe they were mismatched, okay? But this kind of thing happens all the time in boxing. We see these kind of fights.
That's a separate issue.
He wanted to do it. He put his effort into it. He kept trying to win. He got knocked down, 3 times before he got knocked out? He kept getting up. I would rather talk about that than trolling some guy for losing a fight.
Yeah. What is the adage? It's better to have tried and failed than never tried at all.
Yes, Teddy Roosevelt. That is exactly the adage. Is it Teddy Roosevelt?
I don't know.
Or is that Franklin? Is it Eleanor Roosevelt? Is it a Roosevelt at all? What's the lady's name? Who's super vulnerable. Let's talk about
Brene Brown.
She talks about this a lot, and it's true. Congratulations to Nate, put himself out there. Let's be better, people, especially if you're in the boxing community. Treat people that come into our community, are part of our community, better.
The only thing that I will disagree with you about is I'm not opposed to the Nate Robinson challenge because I'm all for having a good laugh. You know what I mean?
It's fine if it comes from a good place.
If it comes from a good place. So I
see a lot that doesn't.
If people are just being ugly and tearing this guy down, then no. Let's give Nate props and then maybe have a little laugh.
I mean, it is funny,
because this happens. But I think it's spectacular. It's fantastic what Nate Robinson chose to go out there and do.
And I've been knocked down both figuratively and in real life. And it happens. It can happen to anybody. But I think that I just don't want to see the ugliness out there.
When I can speak to the other side, which is I practically lived a good long life, very rarely ever doing anything that I might fail at. And looking back, I feel I am like, oh, what did I miss out on? What could I have done because I wasn't ever willing to take any risk? I mean, when I went to college, I majored in the major that just made sense and I knew I could do well in. There were other things I wanted to do. But I was like, I'm not good at math or science, so I guess I'm not even going to try. So I think that it's better to do the thing you feel that passion for. Will do it. Yeah, you failed, but hey, that's also where the growth comes from. If Nate Robinson would want to pursue more boxing, tons to have been learned from this whole outing.
Mostly it's the emotion thing, because he did put in the work. We've seen, he got better on the mitts. He was training, he said, every day.
Yeah.
For hours.
This is why you can't rush somebody in a ring.
Well, yeah, you definitely,
it's a risky
if you're in a boxing ring and you're boxing somebody, you never can rush straight towards them with your head on a direct line. Because Jake Paul didn't even have to look. He could just blindly throw a punch and it's going to land.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, hey, it's better to try and do something and fail and learn than to not have done anything at all. I liked the fight when it was made. I like these stupid kind of fights. With not stupid because it's a social media guy fighting the NBA guy who they're both pretty much novices.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is Jake Paul calling out Conor McGregor. It's crazy on two levels. The first level is, of course, that Jake Paul weighs 200 pounds and Conor McGregor is in the 155-pound weight class. Now he fights sometimes ahead of that. Secondly, there's a vast disparity. As much weight as this, there's a vast disparity in skill level between a professional MMA fighter and a novice professional boxer who just very recently picked up the sport. You don't want that smoke, and neither does his brother Logan Paul, same, maybe bigger weight difference. You don't want that disparity in skill. Trust me, I've experienced that. You do not want that. It's a skill. It's not about who's bigger. It's a skill, and if somebody's that far ahead of you, there's nothing you can do to catch up to them except put in a large amount of time, which is not one fight camp, which is what Nate Robinson should have just taught you.
Right. I agree.